Vroom, vroom. Right, before Goodwood, we fixed a few of the bits that fell off at Anglesey. If you remember, the radiator bolts gave a problem, so what I've done is I've used a smaller bolt and I've pushed it through the thread that's tapped in the chassis so that if necessary we could go back, but I don't think we need to go back. And luckily I found in amongst the stock some nice strong springs. So what I've done is I've put those underneath there with a long bolt going right down, so that it now can move a lot further. And anyway, that was like that at Goodwood, and it never gave any trouble at Goodwood, so that was good. If you remember, this broke off. But anyway, we've welded that back on now, and again, it didn't fall off at Goodwood, so that's a success. A little bolt fell out of the bonnet, but that was easy. I put that back. Haven't made the thing for the centre of the wheel, because obviously John's on holiday. So when he comes back, we'll make a new one for there. And that's it, really.
And we did the seat.
Oh, the seat, yeah, that was good. So, for some reason, I had this lump of stuff. Now, whether somebody had sent me something, you know, something that they didn't want to get crushed or something, you know what it's like in the post now, you get it, there's more stuff for the post than there is actually the bit. But anyway, so that was very useful, and all I did was I just chopped it out, put it on with a tie wrap, and there we are. Old Tom was very pleased with that. But for the race, I'm intending to take that off, and I'm going to get a really good mirror just there, because you'll see in the film old Tom actually lost it, and what it was all twitchy in the wet. He looked over his shoulder, and by the time he'd looked back again, he'd lost it. So I've got to get him out of that habit of looking over his shoulder, not so much in the dry, but in the wet. You've got to think what you're doing all the time. And of course we're going to need 2 mirrors for Goodwood, so obviously we won't have that one, so I'm going to get a really good one just here, and then the other one will be there, but it won't necessarily be much good. So really that's all we've got to do for Goodwood. I think we might need a bigger fire extinguisher, but you know, that's the one what we use in the trials car.
Okay, well that's great.
So all in all, it's pretty good. The only good thing is that Tom went out, and the only fuel we could buy at the circuit was all that 100 octane stuff. So I think I'm going to drain that out and keep it for my Lotus. And because I mean, with 5-to-1 compression ratio, this would almost run on paraffin, I should think. And to be honest, I'd like to try and keep the fuel consistent, you know, because when it went, when we went to Anglesey, it had the cheapest petrol you could possibly buy, and then it got slightly better petrol in it, and now it's got even better petrol in it. So, you know, it must affect it a little bit. So anyway, I think we'll try and stick to as the petrol, cheap, because I think that is quite adequate for the job, and it'll have a bit of consistency. So there we are.
And any lessons from Goodwood? Anything you're to work on next?
Yes, oh yeah, definitely. When you see the video, you see how Tom was struggling with the Monarch. The Monarch's obviously got 8 cylinders instead of 4 cylinders, and according to the original power, this gives 100 brake horsepower, and the engine in the Monarch gives 120 horsepower, so he was 20 horsepower up. But as you'll see, in the wet, Tom was on him. You know, he wouldn't get away in the wet, but in the dry, he just drove away. So we're going to get more power. So I'm going to start experimenting, but we'll tell you all about that next week, because I've got a different carburetor, I've got a load of bits to try, all in the dry sump pump, all in the breathers, really going to town to try and, you know, get that extra little bit. And obviously we'll have to try it out on the road, so we might go down the motorway or something and just hold it flat out and see just how fast it'll go. But anyway, we'll see. So now you can see the video.
Right, it's 7 o'clock in the morning and we're off to Goodwood.
Oh, and the sun is shining at the moment.
We're in our Sprinter van with the Hall and Scott in the back.
Yeah, I mean it's still popping a banging though.
Yeah, but you don't, once it's warmed up, it's not so bad.
No, I like to get some meat in it.
So it got through the noise test, okay?
Yes, it's like a Prius.
Good morning, sun is shining, and Tom was second out, so it's got a good opportunity to have a good old fresh round really. Let's hope the soft plugs are alright. I still put some hard plugs in it, but you know, we'll see. I'm always apprehensive the minute you drive out onto a circuit. What about down the hill for that one?
It's all quick, isn't it? It's quick, different go.
Well done.
Is it round the rev counter?
Yeah, I mean, in fourth on that 11 on the back straight, the affair hammering. I was just playing with brake points, but you want to be starting to brake at the 200 mark.
Yeah, unless you lash them on.
It starts twitching a bit.
Yeah.
It starts twitching a bit.
All that popping and banging, we decided that as it's a lovely day and we could stand out here and start it up and mess about. So we got some NGK plugs, and we got 6s, which are the softest, we got 7s, and we got 8s. So we tried the 7s, and it was no different. We put the 6s in, and it's just transforming. You notice it's not coughing and banging, it's not going boof, boof.
Oh, okay.
So I think all along we've had 2 harder plugs in it. That's a 6. Let's make a point, mate.
Have you got enough spark plugs there?
Well, I think so, yeah. Can't have too many spark plugs. And then that is the ones out the Cobra. And what it is, it's, see that area around in there? Like the distance between there and the middle.
Yeah.
Got it? You see now that?
That's bigger, smaller.
That's slightly less, so that's harder. Well, what it is, we've been out on 6s and it's starting to come back, so I'm reckoning it's settled down. So now we're putting it on 7s and he can tell us whether it's any better. But, you know, if it's like this, it's going to be difficult. But anyway, here we are.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about hardness of plugs.
It's getting hard.
That,
Plugs.
That.
Plugs. Stick to the plugs.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
That must be John in that car, because he always makes a noise, doesn't he?
It's going out. We're not going out.
Anyway, that's a softer plug than that.
Yeah.
Because of the gap that's there, that gap denotes whether it's hard or soft. And if you look, you see there's a much bigger gap there. So that is a soft plug. That's still a soft plug. I mean, a racing plug is about there.
Okay.
But that is slightly harder. So that is a GKN6.
Yeah, that's a
So
D21.
that must be a 5 in GKN, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Which one came out of the Star?
This one's come out with the Star, which is nice and clean, good burn.
Much better than
But
that
we
one.
could go a bit harder, possibly.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
You know.
so.
Oh, where's yours? That's out of the
That's out of the Hall and Scott. But it wasn't as nice as that. I think it must be a rogue one.
Yeah, look. Ooh.
Because ours is a bit
I mean, it's
rich.
not right to compare, is it? But
Lovely, lovely.
Everybody thinks John does all the work.
So this is a different wheel.
Yeah, we're having a new tyre for the wet.
Just one.
Well, we're putting one on because we've only got one, but it's better to give it a try, isn't it? You know? Right, this is Tom driving out in the wet. Luckily, the Monarch, which will obviously be in the race when eventually we get there. So it was a bit good for old Tom to have something that, you know, because he don't want to come last. I don't think he's going to beat Julian, and I don't think he's going to beat Walker. There's a few people he ain't going to beat, but he don't want to be last. And obviously, being behind the Monarch give him a little bit of idea what the competition's going to be like. The Monarch is a lot quicker in a straight line, but then going out in the wet, Tom managed to catch him up. And, you know, I said to him, what about overtaking him? And he said, well, you know, we're only supposed to be driving around on a track day, we're not supposed to be racing. And I thought that was a very good remark, really. Again, gives you a bit of confidence in old Tom driving your car. But anyway, as you can see, he's in the rain. It's not a lot of difference, really, to driving around Anglesey, because in the pouring rain, every time we come to a corner, it's a bit of opposite lock and that. There's just longer straights at Goodwood. But a few words about Goodwood. The first time I ever went to Goodwood, I'd already raced in saloon cars and I knew how to drive, and I went there in my 2002 BMW Turbo, which I wish I still had, but anyway. And some bloke paralysed me in an ordinary, it was a sprint, it wasn't a race meeting, it was sprint. And some bloke paralysed me in an ordinary 2002 because he knew where he was going. I mean, we only had 4 laps, so you go out for 1 lap, and obviously you've got to look where you're going. If you cannot learn Goodwood in 4 laps. I mean, I can fly around Goodwood now because I raced with Lotus 11 there, I raced with TVR there, so, you know, I'm all right now.
And your Elvis?
And my Elvis, yeah, with Jerry Marshall, you know, when the Elvis was terrific, but unfortunately, they didn't quite understand it at Goodwood, and they all reckon I've modified it too much. But anyway, that's another story. I can tell you about that if you're really interested.
And your A30?
Yeah, and my A30 with Kareem Shandok, who was a lovely, lovely bloke, I must say. He was an absolute charmer. In fact, if you get on the internet, you can actually look up Kareem driving it in the race, in the pouring rain. He was very good. He said he didn't care where he comes, so long as he beat David Coulthard, which he did actually, as it happened, so that was a bit of a laugh. But anyway, as you can see, like old Tom's going round, he's right up behind the Monarch, but when he gets to the straight, the Monarch just goes away. But in the rain, I mean, if it was to be wet, I think Tom would be, you know, he would be with him, because, you know, although he's driving nicely and everything, he ain't really trying. I mean, he would be really trying if it was a race. But anyway, we don't want to bore you to death watching this, really. As you can see, it's pouring with rain and he's going well. He's doing what he did at Anglesey, except that obviously Goodwood is a lot faster and there's only one chicane. Every track you go to now, they've got chicanes in the way. Alton Park used to be fabulous, but that's got loads of chicanes and things. So there we are. But anyway, so that's it. So again, we've learned a lot. Coming away, there's a lot of things I've got to do to the car to try and make it better, because if you look at the rev counter, it's only going round to about 1500 RPM, which is enough as it happens, but I think we could over rev it a little bit. And I've got a few plans, but next week I'll get on that, and then Susie will make a video of it. We can tell you exactly, you know, what's going on. But you see that old Tom's really catching him up now, because this is a very fast bit of the circuit, and old Tom's obviously holding it flat out. I mean, on the bigger screen we might be able to see the rev counter, but I'm looking at this on an iPad, so there's not a lot. Look, he's really up with him now. But anyway, we'll see. But Tom learned a lot, and I learned a lot. And none of the bits that we repaired actually fell off again, so that's a step forward.
R5 is probably the lowest, what it's a leaded.
101 you got, amazing. You haven't got like just a 97?
Get your hands on that exhaust and warm them up a bit.
Yeah.
Is this Ivan Dutton's car?
It is, yes, I'm borrowing it.
I saw him here earlier.
I'm very careless with my rental cars.
It's a beautiful car. I was watching him on the YouTube when he took it abroad a year or two ago.
That's to my house in Italy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went.
That.
Yeah, it was good, good fun. Oh my goodness, I got cold hands.
There's a thing on there about you driving it, isn't there?
In Anglesey last
yes,
week.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I love it in the wet actually. I prefer it in the wet to the dry.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's good fun. Oh my goodness, it's cold out there.
I bet it was bitter this morning, wasn't it?
What's the fairly?
Loads of oil here.
Yes, yeah, that's speed oil. Right, so it might have broken it off again. It comes out at the top. Yeah, no, it's not quite total loss, but it may as well be.
Like you do it. Hands warmed up a bit now?
Oh, a bit better, yeah. Bloody hell. It's the wind on them, you know, because they're wet and then you get the wind chill. Oh, sorry, right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I had a small excursion on his lordship's lawn.
Oh, he won't be happy, you know, about the lawn. He gets very upset when people go on the lawn.
Kept it on. Kept it on. I had a couple of wheels on.
Did that help at all?
Who knows? I mean, no, I love it there. Like, it's my favourite. And you just sideways all the time. My hands are freezing though. You're right, because your hands are here, soaking wet, and then all that wind chill back there.
That windscreen is very quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very useless.
When it comes around,
You end up looking inside of it. It's not great.
Right, boys.
That is a dynamo, old boy. Yeah, it is.
I like the belt.
Yeah, it's got a lovely chain belt there.
Yes, yes.
Very originale.
Yeah.
We can go out at night and in the day.
Wow.
We can go cruising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you
CAV.
what, I used to go cruising years ago. They used to have a cruise down in London, and I'll tell you what, it was such good fun. And people all staying outside the pub. And when you drove by, they didn't like the car, they used to throw their beer over you.
Ooh,
and I
free beer though, Ivan, free beer.
I did it in my Morgan three-wheeler, and we never had any beer thrown over us, so that was good. dry and it's got hotter.
Okay. I just don't want to take it easy.
Well, if it doesn't come up, just carry
Don't.
on.
You've got to take that off and put that on.
What's that?
That number 1 thing, yeah.
Oh, I'll probably have to take that off, won't I?
Good this thing. The block, this thing.
That's good, that, isn't it? I don't know what, I always had it for some reason.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Did we empty the carbs?
No. You want to do that? Carbs. You want to run it with the fuel off for a sec?
It stinks of fuel in the car otherwise.
Okay,
We have the windows open on it.
Very economical. Perfect, right. Now you're really going to get that through the gap.
Yeah.
That's lovely. What about you?
Catching. Top, you've got the tires catching there, yeah?
Go on, keep going.
Okay, through.
Okay.
Yeah. Straighten up there.
Good thing there. Lovely.
You know, that isn't perfect when it's in.